your enemy. And I think this, okay, we're gonna just go off on this tangent. So let's shelf the other part and let me explain this, because this is so important and people do not know this, because it's almost like your doctor doesn't want you to know, your pharmacist doesn't want you to know, like no one wants you to know this. But your body is not your enemy. Like every time that the doctor or basically anyone, pharmacist, even could be like a natural healer, but I don't think usually, tries to tell you that your body's doing something because it's like your enemy, like, oh, your body just does this incorrect thing and that's why you need this medication. They're always wrong, okay? Because that's not how it works. Like your body isn't fighting you, even if you have autoimmune disease, which is one of the times when they try to tell you the most that your body is fighting you. But the truth is that whatever your body does, it's always trying to send you a signal. It's always trying to show you that something is wrong and that you need help. You have to change your ways, because it's like a check engine light for your car, and it's like flashing at you. And that little problem that you're having that's flashing at you, when the doctor comes along and they put just a pharmaceutical over the top of that, they didn't help you. They just turned off. They were like, you drove up to the mechanic and he was like, oh, your problem is that your check engine light is on. Okay, let me just go ahead and turn that off for you. There you go. I turned it off. Can I have some money? And you're like, yes, thank you. Now it won't go bing bong every time when I'm driving and distract me. But the truth is that they didn't do anything to really fix your problem. They just basically masked it. All they do is sweep it under the rug. Yes, they're actually hiding the alarm bells that are trying to tell you something's wrong, and what is it trying to tell you? It's usually trying to always tell you one of the same very few things. So either it's trying to tell you you're eating wrong, don't eat that, you need this, it's trying to tell you either you're eating something you shouldn't, unhealthy stuff going in, or you're missing a nutrient that you desperately need. So, healthy nutrient not going in. So it's trying to tell you one of those two things when it comes to what you're eating. And that can come across in so many different ways. It could be, inflammation in the body. It could be, brittle nails, hair, dry skin, feeling sluggish, constipation. It could be a million different signs and symptoms that are not anything to do with what with this, like it is to do with the symptom. But if you just cure that symptom, oh, I have constipation. Oh, I have, dry skin. I'm just put some lotion on over the top, or I'm gonna go to the dermatologist and they're gonna give me a peel or something. That didn't fix the problem. Those are a sign of a problem. So we have either you're eating something you shouldn't, something unhealthy, or you're nutrient deficient in some way. The next thing your body tries to tell you a lot is either you're moving incorrectly, pain, your posture. It could be telling you your posture is bad. It could be telling you like all you're doing is sitting, and you can start to have a whole chain reaction of effects from that. Or it could be telling you you're not moving enough. And that, again, that can be circulatory issues, that could be digestive issues, that could be mental health issues. All of those issues that the doctor is going to give you some different pill for, or treatment, or send you to a specialist, could all be a signal of the same thing that you're lacking. And it's absolutely insane. So we've covered what you're eating, whether or not you're moving. Another thing that your body is desperately trying to tell you a lot of times is that all day long, cortisol is surging. It's surging. And why is it surging? Well, it could be a lot of different reasons. Stress, from an actual mental health aspect, or it could be, just the lifestyle that you're living, like you're taking on too much. Sometimes I think this happens, I call it moles. Actually, you guys, I'm not doing what they did anymore, if that makes sense. There's something when it comes to practicing medicine, they think they own all these diagnoses. they can have them. So what I've done is I coined the real diagnosis, the real syndrome, the real whatever myself. I come up with my own terms. So there's something that I like to call moles. So, and that is modern overload syndrome. So basically, moles is what a lot of us suffer from, that they are calling anxiety, depression, a host of actually like physical side effects that can all stem basically from surging cortisol all the time. And some of the problem with moles is it's not just going to be like, what's your, you're going through a divorce, or you just changed jobs, or you're wondering how you're going to pay your bills. Like, it's not just those things that we think of as far as like mental aspects that weigh on us every day. But it can also even be like you live somewhere where there's so much extra noise. Maybe you live in the city and it's honking all the time. The airplane flying over, and your body is not, it will habituate to it, but it's not designed for that. So basically your body is like all the time, like, what is that? It can never get rest because your auditory pathways are being stimulated. Yes, if your body is stuck in survival mode for too long, it can cause issues. Yes, and that's basically what I call moles, where a lot of people, their modern life has them stuck in that survival mode, whether or not they think it. They might be like, I have a calm life, it's fine, my husband's good, my children are great and everything, like, I don't have a problem. But then they're not realizing like, oh, well, I do live, right next to a bus station, and maybe the one issue that I have is like I hear people screaming at each other in the streets at night, or I hear sirens like waking me from my sleep, so I have a bunch of those, Betty Jackson. So it could be even like somebody who, the second you wake up, like you're getting emails and alerts, and your phone's lighting up at you. All those things, they're not natural to our body, so they have stimulatory effects. And what they're going to do is stimulate your cortisol and pretty much just stress you out. And then cortisol is not just like, oh, I got a little cortisol here, now I feel stressed. It actually has like real life. Oh, that's funny. I plugged my phone in and then I just realized like I didn't actually plug it in. Sorry. Okay, well that didn't work. Instead of the light, it's gonna get a little dark. Actually, maybe I'm just gonna move over here and sit for a second. Hopefully the dogs don't come over here though and try to eat my chicken while I sit down and finish this, because I have more to say. Yeah, that worked good. You can see my little kitchen. It's a mess. Anyways, so those actually have, the cortisol actually has like a lot of effects on your physical body. I have to keep Dave here with me because otherwise he's gonna go eat my chicken. That are physical in nature. Like, one thing that I don't think doctors really talk about this. They will tell you that if they have to give you prednisone is going to increase your blood sugar. And they do recognize something called metabolic syndrome. And metabolic syndrome basically is a time when you're kind of overweight, you're stressed out. You get that thing that I used to have that I show you guys sometimes, like where your face looks like a moon because you're living in constant cortisol. But I don't know that they never connect the lifestyle piece. Like, they always talk about, oh, you need to lose weight, you need to reduce your cortisol, you need to, reduce your metabolic syndrome, you probably need this pill and that pill. But the truth is that there is an overload happening. That is why your body gets metabolic syndrome. And that has to do with surging cortisol all the time. It's not just what you eat or anything like that. If your cortisol is surging all the time, you're going to have high blood sugar. You're going to have those signs of high cortisol. You're going to have really, really bad effects on like your blood vessels, basically everything, all your systems. So it's important to recognize that high cortisol is one of the worst things for us. and that we really have to manage that. So modern life overload syndrome, you need to manage it. And some of that might even mean, okay, for me, it meant we moved to the country and it's so quiet here and we're like different people, me and my son. We wake up and there's birds chirping, and maybe the dog might like cause a little bit of drama or something, but that's like very normal physiological drama for humans to live with, if that makes sense. There's no like cars driving by or people yelling at each other in the middle of the night or sirens or anything like that. There's also not overstimulation from EMFs. That's another thing you want to watch, but I won't go too much into that. Okay, so back to the alarm bells. So we had what you eat, we had how much you move, and we have, you know, how much stress you're under. Another alarm bell, things that could be signaling you would be that you're not sleeping enough. If you're not sleeping enough, your body basically, again, goes into that shutdown mode. It's going to be surging cortisol again, but you're going to have things like brain fog. You're going to have things like hunger cravings, you know, then you're going to have weight gain. You're going to feel awful all the time. Your hormones are going to be unbalanced, and it's just going to be a mess. So instead of, like I said, a doctor coming along and wanting to treat you for every little thing, oh, you have insomnia. Maybe we need to give you a pill for that. Oh, you have, you know, you're eating too much. Maybe I should put you on Ozempic and so you can lose weight. Oh, now your gut doesn't work well. Let's give you some Miralax so that you can use the bathroom again. They're gonna do all of the things except for sit down and talk to you about what's causing the alarm bells to go off of. So my mission is this. There are signals that your body is desperately trying to give you, and anybody who tries to shut off those signals without helping you find out the cause is not trying to help you. Like, they're not trying to help you. They're just making a profit. They don't know what they're doing. They don't care what they're doing. They're basically following an algorithm, and that is that. They're deceived. So don't go to the deceivers and try to get fixed, because that is not within their wheelhouse, if that makes sense. And how do I know this? Because I am a trained deceiver. I went to school. I was a physician assistant for 6 years, and none of it ever made sense to me. I was like the whole thing, you know, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Now, granted, I went into ICU medicine, and it's very sad when you see people who have basically had their alarm bells ignored and covered up year after year after year till they end up in the ICU. And then sometimes they end up in the ICU again and again and again, and it's just like a downward spiral. Their alarm bells were never taken seriously. They were never looked into. Their lifestyle never changed, and they go on like what I kind of call the pill spiral, or like, I like to think that sometimes it's like a water balloon. This is how I first started to picture it, where there's like a hole in it and you're like patching that one and a new one springs up and then you're patching that one. And basically you cannot stop it. Every single person that gets, you know, one medical issue, I watched this happen for years. Like, and I can't even describe it to people that don't understand, but for years I watched a person, you know, every single person have all the same medical diagnoses, you know, and I'm thinking, is it just the pills are eventually causing all this? Is it just that? What is going on? Why do they all end up with heart failure, AFib, coronary artery disease, you know, all the kidney issues? Why do they all end up with this? And for a long time, I just blamed the pills. I was like, you put them on this pill, you put them on that pill, you put them on this pill. Is that what's going on? And then I started to really understand that's a part of it. All those pills have side effects, but they never fixed the root problems for those people, and they just kept putting pharmaceutical band-aids on them, or even physical band-aids. You know, sometimes they're opening an artery or something, but never really helping the person understand that this is a downward spiral if you do not change your lifestyle. Your body's trying to tell you something, and we're just going to silence it. That's basically what the whole industry does. So it was very sad to watch that year after year, people returning to the ICU, with just worsening problems and never getting better. So that is why I stepped away from that and into what I'm doing. And some days it's hard because I used to make $100,000 a year, and people respected what I did because they didn't really know any better, and it was an entire different life, and sometimes now I look at my life and I'm like, people don't understand what I'm doing. They think I'm a quack. They're not really hearing it. The money is obviously not so good. And sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? If people want the pills, why don't I just go back to giving them the pills, maybe I could find one area where I feel good about it or something. But then I remember the truth. Because even if I went into dermatology, the whole time I would be looking at the skin thinking, this person just needs this person just needs that. And you know what the sad truth is? The sad truth is that the thing that the person really needs to fix their problem is not on the algorithm, and it is not going to be considered standard of care. And standard of care is what runs the medical industry, and it's why people with principles have trouble practicing it all. Because standard of care says this person comes in with this problem and you need to offer and recommend them this medication. That is standard of care. And there's not a lot of lifestyle or even time for lifestyle guidance, time for troubleshooting, time for understanding vitamin deficiencies and stuff in the standard of care. So that's why I do what I do now, because I want to be able to help people to recognize the alarm bell signals that their body is putting out to them and try to give them ways to figure out and troubleshoot how can they fix this before it turns into a massive problem, and to try to get them to recognize that turning off the alarm bell is only making their problem worse, and instead they need to try to heal their body so that the alarm bell will just basically eventually go away. Like you will fix your digestion by changing the way you eat and sleeping better and doing all these things, and it just takes a dedication, but it also takes a belief. And when you have doctors and mainstream media and 1,000 people on Twitter telling you that trying to change your lifestyle is all mumbo jumbo, or someone saying, oh, I was always going to end up with this problem, it's genetic, and they've been indoctrinated to believe that, it is very hard to shift. Okay, sorry, my phone was cutting out. So no matter what happens, no matter what, actually I lost my train of thought entirely. I think I was just going to say that no matter what, I'm going to keep on trying to educate people, talking about this stuff, not giving it up. I think that the problem is always that maybe I haven't said it in the right way, or that somebody else isn't saying it in the right way. And I'm glad I got on here because I think this is the first time I really understood to describe it like this. So Samantha and I are going to continue, trying to educate people about true health. Maybe it was the reishi that had me in the flow. I did take that reishi right at the beginning. Liberty, no! Oh my gosh, my dog was eating the chicken. Maybe it was the reishi that did get me in that flow to be able to talk about this the way that I wanted to, but Samantha and I are going to keep on pushing about this. We're going to talk about it. We're going to be educating people. We're going to be helping our clients. We're going to be trying to just change. Oh, thank you, Veggie Jackson. We're going to just be trying to change the way people look at health and healthcare. We like to say we do health we do health differently, or let's do health differently, because the way that it's been done isn't helping. Like, no one's healthier. Everyone is sicker, living shorter, worse. So that is the goal. The goal is to educate, to change the way that we look at the industry, and to hopefully just make the world a better place. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If anyone's interested in our program, we're actually starting clients at any time now. You can just go ahead and send me a message and I will get you started. If you're interested in the parasite cleanse starts October 1st. But please, please, please get your ticket now, because Samantha has to make the tinctures and we need to make sure we're going to have enough for everybody. So when the tinctures run out, we can't have any more join. And we already have quite a few people in there, so that's pretty exciting. But go ahead and send me a message if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope you all have a fantastic day. If your body gives you trouble, please see it as an alarm bell, not something to shut off. It's something to investigate further. All right, you guys have a fantastic day. Bye.